Why the supply shortage?
Gotta think the reserve had something to do with it. Everybody had it in their heads that there was this buried treasure out there, and they all broke their necks trying to find it. Then, poof, it evaporates into thin air. And all those folks who were depending on it gotta find another way to feed themselves. Now, some people might see that as a crisis. I see it as an opportunity.
Another sign that we're all fucked.
You need to shift your attitude, kid.
Everybody's got Old Town on the brain.
Yeah, well, it was a fucked up situation. Some lunatic has figured out how to keep the bells ringing for days. What's the point of that? Slaughtering a bunch of innocent people, then making it nearly impossible to ever set foot in that stretch of NOLA ever again. Chaos like that ain't just bad for business, it's bad for living. Hope Mama gets a hold of that fucker, gives them what they deserve.
I heard it was some tower guy who went rogue.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Pumpkin. Truth travels slowly. The rumors have wings.
You're like the only one alive who says stuff like that.
Cut the shit, Dez. I mean it.
Just make sure my cut is substantial, Sonny. Then we won't have a problem.
I'll tell you what I tell all my associates. I haven't operated this fine establishment for 28 years, through a fucking apocalypse even, by breaking my promises. You've got my word, and my word is good as solid gold.
It's true. He does say that to everybody.
That's enough, Dez. One thing you gotta know about the exiles, they're like catfish, night feeders. So you'll need to venture out after dark to do business with them. Work that UV flashlight to find where they've set up shop. It's a whole different ballgame at night. But the exiles say it's the best time to scavenge. Less competition, lots more loot.
Thanks for the tip, Pawn King.
You know I got your back, tourist. Listen, while you're here, I got a favor to ask you. It would help the trade network out a whole lot. Our old friend Henri, he had stuff hidden all over this town. He was like a fucking squirrel, couple of nuts here, couple of nuts there. Most of it I could care less. But he and I were in the middle of a deal for one of those stashes, and then he got himself dead. I happen to know where he hid it. You can keep whatever else you find, but the batteries, those belong to me.
You expect me to risk my ass for 9 volts?
It may seem trivial to you, I know, but the whole trade network relies on batteries to keep in touch. I know more than a few exiles who would gladly exchange their firstborn for one damn 9-volt.
Fine. I'll fetch your damn batteries.
So it sounds like we got us a deal then. The spot ain't too far from here. An old recording studio in the French Quarter. Lots of fond memories. Henri and I used to do session gigs there. Him on slide, me on bass. We even played with Slim Dog Fortune once, if you can believe that.
You knew Slim Dog?
I most certainly did. Not like Henri. Those two played together for years. But I spent enough time with the legend to know how special his talent was. Back in the day, after Slim Dog met his maker, Henri would always be boasting about how Slim Dog told him he was the best slide player he'd ever seen. Even better than Slim Dog himself. Ha! Oh man, I miss that fool Henri. And he could play, there is truth to that. But better than Slim Dog? Come on now. The cat who owned the recording studio was a lunatic, Martinique the Martian Driscoll. He was a bit on the paranoid side, thinking everyone was out to steal from him. Didn't trust us musician types as far as he could throw us out the front door. He was always switching the door code, sometimes every other day.
Where do I find the code?
The Martian was something of a ladies' man. Had a dalliance with a different lady every week. So he set himself up with a private suite at the Hotel Eclair. Every time he changed the door code to the studio, he'd leave it there for whoever he had coming around. You find room 212, you find the code.
I was just at the Hotel Eclair. Place is infested.
One last thing. We're not gonna be keeping regular business hours from here on out. Security reasons. I'm sure you get it. We'll shout out on the radio when the doors are open, so stay tuned in. Good luck to you, tourists.
Floor by floor we fought. 5 bloody and costly weeks to clear the entire building. By the time our climb was through, and the building was secure, our numbers were reduced to 36. 12 brave and beautiful souls lost. But the sacrifices were not in vain. We had our home, our tower. Word of our success spread like wildfire. Every day, more and more survivors found their way to our gates. And we welcomed them with arms wide open. We had the room to grow, and we grew quickly. In those early days, we were unified, and as a result, we were prosperous. One collective mind, one collective vision. They allowed us to regain control of our lives. But as the population grew, dissent found its way into the collective and reared its ugly head at the most difficult of times. And what did we do? Did we crumble? Did we change our course? No. We persevered, as we have from the beginning. We knew that our future remained bright if we stayed committed to what brought us to our tower in the first place. So let us not allow all the noise to knock us back down to the ground from the heights we have already achieved. Let us continue to climb together. We must cut loose those who burden us with their petty squabbles, their poisonous minds, and their freeloading ways. Trust in Mama when I say we are better off without them. Have I ever steered you wrong?